Sophie Cunningham owned Jacy Sheldon from the same game that Marina Mabrey did the massive body slam into Caitlin Clark on. She still owns Jacy. She still owns Jacy Sheldon. And what's great is she's got a great sense of humor about it, and she's not shy about it. I mean, what are they going to do?
Sophie Cunningham didn't whisper her message. She screamed it. She turned the court into her personal podium, the fans into her megaphone, and her pen into a weapon. And the target, Jacy Sheldon. The same Sheldon who's already earned a reputation for getting a little too familiar with Caitlin Clark without ever earning her stripes in this league. This wasn't a subtle moment behind the scenes. This was public. This was loud. This was personal. And every Fever fan knew exactly what it meant.
This is kind of crazy. This one is kind of crazy. When you get Sophie Cunningham to sign a Jacy Sheldon rookie card with property of, that is crazy. That is crazy. Property of Sophie Cunningham.
Let's be real. There's a truth most teams in the WNBA pretend doesn't exist. When you have Caitlin Clark on your roster, the biggest draw in the sport, the media magnet, the sellout machine, you either protect her, or you become part of the problem. You don't stand idly by while opponents treat her like a crash test dummy for their frustrations.
Third quarter we go. They're trailing by 10. Keep an eye on her and Jacy Sheldon. Clark trying to back her down. Sheldon, that was Clark, hitting her in the face. Clark is upset about that. Then everybody's upset about that. Marina Mabrey comes in. She decks Clark, tempers flaring on both sides.
Sophie Cunningham, she chose door number 1. Then she slammed it shut, on Sheldon's fingers. It all goes back to that game. The one where Marina Mabrey tried out for the NFL with a post-whistle truck stick to Clark. But before that play went viral, Jacy Sheldon had already been dipping into her usual bag of accidental bumps, ones that always seemed to land squarely on Clark. Fever fans weren't having it. Neither was Sophie.
Sophie commits a hard foul on Jacy Sheldon. Again, as Jacy Sheldon is going up for a layup, Sophie bear hugs her and takes her to the ground. What I will say is Sophie did not grab her and throw her to the ground. She didn't body slam her. She didn't do anything, in my personal opinion. Maybe I'm biased here, but I'm gonna give you guys my straight up honest opinion on this. She bear hugged her, took her to the ground. Yes, it was intentional.
Sophie didn't go crying to the refs. She didn't subtweet or drop a passive-aggressive quote in the post-game. She watched. She noted. She waited. Then, later in that very game, she delivered a clean, firm shoulder check that screamed, "We saw that. Don't try it again." It wasn't dirty. It was deliberate. It was basketball with a message. And then, Cunningham did something that most players won't. She didn't stop when the final buzzer sounded.
She's the problem. She is the problem.
Sophie takes the card, grabs the pen, and writes across the front. Property of Sophie Cunningham. That's not a scribble. That's a declaration. That's, you want to press our star? Cool. Here's the bill. It's also a memo to the rest of the league.
Fast forward to a Fever fan event. Sophie's in full fan favorite mode, smiling, laughing, signing programs. A fan walks up and hands her a Jacy Sheldon rookie card. Not Caitlin, not her own card, Sheldon's. But they don't want just a signature. They want a statement. And Sophie delivers. In big bold letters, she writes across the front, property of Sophie Cunningham. Mic dropped. No filter. No flinch. No backpedal. Lexi Hull, sitting next to her, nearly fell out of her chair laughing. Fans went nuts. And the internet, immediate combustion. The clip took off like a rocket. It wasn't just a joke. It was a shot across the bow of every guard in the league thinking they can take liberties with Clark without consequences.
Sophie Cunningham has been Caitlin Clark's biggest cheerleader and defender.
And it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What? When people try to argue that she's not the face of our league,
Yeah.
or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as
The sad truth about this video we just watched is she is the first WNBA player I have seen to openly say this out loud, publicly, and not be ashamed in declaring. Caitlin Clark is the reason we have been talking about the WNBA. Hate it or love it, it's true. I don't believe that Caitlin Clark necessarily wants that title that everyone has been giving to her. I think she just wants to be appreciated. And Sophie Cunningham, she just seems like such a real one, such a good friend. I think especially with women, especially elite level athletes, there's a lot of people, women, who will kind of stab you in the back. There's a lot of jealousy, a lot of resentment, especially when you're good. But Sophie just seems like such a girl's girl. I really, really like her. Maybe Caitlin Clark should do the next American Eagle campaign. Or Sophie.
What makes this moment so powerful isn't just the humor, it's what it represents. Accountability, loyalty, a line in the sand. For months, Clark has been targeted, blindside hits, hip checks, reckless closeouts. And while the league twiddled its thumbs and handed out the occasional fine, players like Carter, Mabry, and yes, Jacy Sheldon, kept poking the bear. Why? Because there were no consequences. Until now. Sophie's message was simple: if you mess with Caitlin, you're dealing with me. And the fans? They've responded exactly how you'd expect. The property of Sophie Cunningham moment has become meme gold. Fever Nation embraced it like gospel. Even Clark's broader fan base, massive, passionate, and very online, rallied around it. They saved it, reposted it, turned it into merch ideas, and reminded everyone, Caitlin Clark isn't alone anymore.
God, I wish we had more teammates, or I wish more teammates of Caitlin Clark would get this fired up when their transcendent superstar, who's now hurt and has missed half the games this year, has been the target, that some of the other players would get a little bit aggressive on behalf of Caitlin Clark. Get in between something. You never, this is in the NBA. Every team in hockey, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, I mean, these transcendent stars, it's always the goon, the enforcer. In this case, Sophie Cunningham, I mean, normally these guys, they're not really putting up numbers. The difference here is Sophie Cunningham is a real basketball player and a hell of a good one.
And you got tossed.
And it was 2-on-1. Yeah, I got tossed.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we're good. But so in a situation like that, does Caitlin come up to you after and say, like, because the internet, the whole thing was, look at fucking Sophie sticking up for Caitlin, like, this is dope.
But I was.
No, I know you were.
But in the locker room, she goes, I think she was like, finally, you know, like finally someone else. I was like, dude, I got you. Like it's, but I think that kind of had our team come together as a whole. And it's dude, like, no, we gotta have like, it was a, awesome. Yeah, no, it really was though. Like, I feel like everyone was like, you know, like we do have to protect each other.
When the Fever and Sun face off again, this storyline won't be background noise. It'll be front and center. Fans will be watching every move, every bump, every glance between Sheldon and Sophie. Because now, it's personal. And if Sheldon tries anything, the whole world will be watching for Sophie's response. That's the power of having an enforcer. It turns one bump into a statement game, one autograph into a viral moment, one teammate into a franchise tone-setter. The verdict: iconic or instigating? So was Sophie Cunningham's autograph over the line? Or was it the exact right message at the perfect time? From where Fever Nation is sitting, there's no question. It was iconic, it was overdue, and it was earned. Because for once, the WNBA's spotlight wasn't just on Caitlin Clark, it was on the teammate standing beside her, refusing to let cheap shots define the game. And that's why fans love Sophie. That's why they've rallied behind her. And that's why, like it or not, Jacy Sheldon is going to have to carry this moment around for a while. Welcome to the new WNBA. Caitlin Clark is the star, but Sophie Cunningham, she's the message.
That's it for today's video. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.